Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Now, we've been following the restructuring going on at CNN under its new ownership group, and honestly what I've been hoping for is for CNN to be reformed, for them to no longer be a tool of the left, but rather turn into an actual fair news network. Possibly shift to the right, but hopefully stay in the center, and for leftoids to keep screeching and melting down. It just would have been a great feeling of justice in general to see it happen. That would have been, I think, best case scenario. I don't know if we're ever gonna get there, because CNN has a pretty bad problem, and that problem is they're going broke. I'm not exactly shedding tears or losing hope over this, because to be honest, this is best case scenario number 2. Either CNN reforms itself and turns into something credible, or CNN crashes, crumbles, and just kind of disappears. Well, it seems as though that is probably the more likely outcome, as the network is on the verge of collapse. CNN Plus, of course, we know is a massive failure, and following CNN Plus, the ratings have been in the gutter. Well, now apparently it's all catching up to them, as CNN braces for mass layoffs. It's not just the leftist hacks at the top primetime shows that are losing their jobs. It seems as though the whole network is suffering severe financial strain. You know, like I always say, I don't exactly enjoy gloating or relishing in the demise of others, and especially not the financial ruin of others. But if we're talking about the demise of CNN, well then bring on the relish, baby. We will not be shedding no tears over here. Of course, to the contrary. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on. Let's talk about it, the different factors. We've got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, take a look at this headline right over here from the New York Post. CNN head Chris Licht admits layoffs on horizon as anxious staffers grill him during town hall. Quote, huge nerves. CNN's new boss, Chris Licht, was grilled by anxious staffers at a town hall meeting over possible layoffs as the cable news giant is under pressure from corporate parent Warner Bros. Discovery to slash costs amid fierce economic headwinds. Licht, who succeeded Jeff Zucker as the network's most senior executive earlier this year, declined to get into specifics when asked by the town hall moderator Allison Camerota, which employees were in danger of losing their job. But the executive did say that those involved with aspects of CNN who are not part of the network's, quote, core mission were most likely to get the axe. And so you know exactly what that means. Those who aren't aligned with the core mission of reforming CNN moving forward, in other words, all the lefty hacks masquerading as journalists, all the fake news experts, are on the chopping block. Look, the midterms was not perfect, but like I keep saying, 2022 is the year that keeps on giving. Boy, is the pendulum swinging. I mean, just think about that. You can't be too greedy. You gotta be happy with what you got. You know, in life, you can't have everything. But a total overhaul in nearly 75% possibly of the Twitter staff getting the boot, all the leftist hacks being sent packing, is a beautiful gift. And now we're possibly seeing the exact same thing at CNN. All of these corrupt media and social media actors who want to put their thumb on the scale and flex their cultural power to benefit them and their political needs, wants, and political party, well, it's finally catching up to them. And it's a beautiful thing watching the corporate legacy media collapse. These networks are meeting their moment of reckoning. They've shattered their reputations so deeply, so badly, that they're unable to regain the followers that they've lost. Whether it's people who used to trust them and watch them, who just got exposed to all the lies and all the garbage, who walked away forever, or whether it's the leftoids who are now very angry and discouraged that CNN and other networks are moving towards a more fair and balanced viewpoint. Of course, you can't have that, causing them to leave in droves, which now, by the way, we're even seeing at MSNBC. Morale at MSNBC is at a, quote, all-time low as network faces identity crisis. It seems as though after this little fake news experiment that we've seen over the last 6 years, but of course it's really last decades, but it's gotten really bad over the last 6 years, it's finally catching up to the legacy media, and people have had enough. Not to mention the change in demographics. People who are my age don't watch MSNBC and CNN. They don't sit at the TV and watch cable news. They're on YouTube, Twitter, and various other platforms. And they're putting their trust into people who are more relatable, people who are normal like them, doing the research and just calling it as they see it. The independent media is winning, and these networks are crashing, tumbling, as people realize that really, they're not in the business of news, they're in the business of scandal, entertainment, tabloid, and of course the most dangerous, corporate and political shilling. That's what they do. In times of potential conflict and global unease, when the concept of peace becomes an uncertainty, what do? They shill for the military-industrial complex and the globalists who benefit from times of uncertainty. They want to get us into war. When it comes to election season, they shill the political party that they're in the pocket for. People are finally realizing that these networks have some sort of ulterior motive, and it's just like in a relationship. Once you lose trust, it's very hard to get it back. If you cheat on your spouse, if you do something really egregious in your relationship, you're not just going to be able to fix that. You have irreversibly changed the dynamic moving forward, and no longer will you be trusted. You've lost that trust. You've broken that relationship, and that's exactly where we are right now with the legacy media. You can fire all the Brian Stelters, Jim Acostas, Don Lemons, Jake Tappers, Chris Cuomo's you want, all the Tiffany Crosses you want. At the end of the day, CNN is still CNN. MSNBC is still MSNBC. Unless you're part of the crowd that's gullible enough to fall for the New World Order agenda, unless you're part of the Blue Anon crowd, who's made being an anti-Trump Democrat, being part of the resistance, their new persona and their new personality, because they're basically an empty shell, an empty void, and they gotta fill it with something, otherwise they're just a very uninteresting person. Unless you're that individual, well then you're probably not watching CNN or MSNBC. And now they're stuck between a rock and a hard place, because Donald Trump is back on Twitter, and clearly you know that Donald Trump essentially made CNN what they've become over the last little while. CNN is nothing without Donald Trump. Trump this, Trump that, every single day, orange man bad every single day. And now with him coming back, but then their commitment to be fair and balanced, well, what do? I guess we'll have to find out. It's either they're going to go full leftist, anti-Trump fake news once again for the next election season, or they're going to be fair and it's probably not going to succeed, or the network is going to collapse totally on itself. Those seem to be the three options, and the latter might be where we're headed. Mass layoffs are about to hit the network, and the woke fake news journalists seem to be first on the chopping block. At least that's my interpretation of what Chris Litch, the new boss at CNN, Jeff Zucker's replacement, is saying. Can we please have a moment of silence as we pay our respects and type F in the comment section for the end of the legacy media as we know it? Although probably not. The legacy media seems like a villain from some superhero movie that just always ends up coming back. No matter how many times you knock them down, no matter how many times you think you've obliterated the threat, they just keep re-emerging like a damn zombie. That's what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel if you guys are up for it. Like usual though, I gotta get back to work. These videos will not record themselves, and it's just too much fun to relish in the demise of the legacy media. So I'm gonna get to that. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I will see you on the next one.